It's me, Renee. I'm back. And as you can see, this is my recommendations for the first prompt of this Vaultathon, being searching for belonging. And yeah, honestly, this, I suppose, in a way, this is kind of the most challenging one because, at least to me, aren't kind of most books about searching for belonging? Well, I suppose not most books, but a lot of books are. I mean, a lot of books have that fish out of water feeling where a person is new to a place or new to a situation or like they have to figure out something new. Because I mean, every book kind of needs a conflict, and a conflict, I mean, is kind of finding, well, a problem coming to you and you have to solve it. And since every problem is different, I mean, everything is different. You never walk into the same river twice. Then kind of everything is kind of like searching for belonging because I mean, when you belong, it's kind of when you have to sort of figure it out. So I suppose, yeah, this could be a lot of things. But yeah, and so yeah, I have quite a few books. Well, I suppose at least for most of the prompts, I actually have quite a few options for you guys, recommendations. Not options. Sound like you have to read them. You don't have to read them, but I highly recommend them. And yeah, let's start. First, we have Diary of a Confused Feminist. So in this one, I was like, you said like searching for belonging. Well, how? I mean, this one is searching for belonging in the way that the main character is a teen, so she's searching for belonging in life because teens are always like, I don't fit in. How do you do life? Like how? I mean, also a bit of a weird interpretation of a teen, but I mean, you get my point. Uh, but so like in addition to like figure out life because teen years not easy. The character in this one, give me one moment. Blah 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 blah. The main character is called Kat. Sorry. So Kat, she's trying to be better feminist. So yeah, this one I would say like searching to belong in like the feminist environment. So she's setting goals for herself to be better feminist and yeah, belonging in feminist environments, I would say. It's kind of like this book, really. So yeah, this book, highly recommended. Very funny, very relatable, and yeah, just very true also. And okay, so it deals with feminism, but it also deals with mental health, and yeah, highly recommended. And then we have How to Find a Princess by Lisa Cole. This could actually work for several prompts, so this will probably show up in other prompts. But yeah, so this one I would say. So one of the characters, Makeda, she's always trying to like find her way in working life because okay, she has a job, but her just like her boss is just kind of not really uh, giving her the credit she deserves, and she's not getting the promotion she deserves, and her other jobs hasn't been that good. So like she's kind of trying to find her foot in her working life. And then Besnaria, she's trying to trying to find where she belongs in like in her world, in her country, and just kind of like yeah, Ibanaria. Her country is Ibanaria. Just kind of trying to find this lost princess to belong again in the society of Ibanaria. And yeah, so this one has searching for belongings in a lot of ways. And yeah, I do recommend it. Do I recommend Elisa Cole's other books more? I do recommend this book as well. And then we have We Should Hang Out Sometime by Joss Sundquist, or Sundquist, as you would say in the United States. So this is actually a non-fiction, but like again, I mean, if you like non-fiction, you can use that for this prompt or for like this readathon, and no excluding anything. You can read whatever you want. And yeah, so this is autobiography all about how just doesn't. I mean, he wants to have a girlfriend, but he doesn't really have one. And he starts with him talking to his friends about his love life, and they say, "What love life?" And then he discovers that the people he thought he had been in a couple with, they hadn't. So he kind of looks back at his love life, and yeah, he kind of longs or searches to find love in that nice way. and spoiler alert, he finds love in the end. And yeah, so this one I would say like it works like if you like books. It's a good fit if you like non-fiction, if you like autobiographies, if you like love stories or stories about love. It's not actually a love story. Well, I suppose it's in a way a love story. And yeah, it's also a funny story. And it also touches on his disability because he just has one leg. And yeah, and then we have a book. Okay, so I kind of sometimes I try to like find books I don't really talk about that often. But I mean, also like you can't help yourself to talk about your favorite books, and like when opportunity strikes, you kind of do. So I'm talking about boom, 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 boom. Can you guess what was I thought about in a little while? Yeah, it is The Named or Guardians of Time by Marion Curley. Also, actually, I don't, in a moment. We're gonna use this opportunity to talk about old magic as well. You know what? I'm gonna talk about this first, old magic, because it was my first experience with Mary Curley, and it was her first book. So else, and it kind of fits in chronologically to talk about this one first, and they both fit the prompt. So this one, it's about Kate and Jared. So Kate, she's a witch. She's always known she's a witch, and she's open about it. Her parents, her mom, is living someplace different because she doesn't want to be with Kate because I don't know. But I do believe that her mom uh, got a new family, so it's not like her mom doesn't want a kid. So I don't quite remember what was the deal about that, but yeah, I mean, yeah. So Kate lives with her grandma, so she's I suppose different in that way. Jared, he's the seventh of a seventh son, and yeah, so as you suppose could have guessed, um, he's in a family that's cursed. Of course, he doesn't know that, but soon in the beginning of the book, Kate discovers that Jared is like in a cursed family. He doesn't want to believe it. He's like a realist, and other source. I mean, in a way, Kate she doesn't really. She's not searching for belonging, but I suppose I think Jared. Well, yeah, Jared just kind of wants to belong. He's new in the town, and he kind of wants to belong. So yeah, here he's the one who's searching for belonging. So this was also actually a story with this multiple point of view. You have point of view of Kate and Jared, so they're both main characters, I would say. So yeah, Jared wants to belong. Kate, she doesn't really care. She has a friend, and she likes her life. Even though she's bullied, she kind of yeah, she likes her life enough. And yeah, very soon things get out of hand, shenanigans happen, and they time travel. And yeah, so that's kind of this book is about. And yeah, he wants to belong, and maybe that's an end. Maybe you have to read it to find out. And then we have that's one I teased about before. The Named or Guardians of Time, which is the series name by Marion Curley. So the same author. This one came first, and then this one came up. And yeah, so Ethan in this one, he doesn't really want to belong. Uh, well, but this is so a story with lots of characters. And Isabel, she wants to belong, and she doesn't really belong. So she's searching for belonging. And in this book, I suppose she kind of finds belonging in this secret society of time travelers. And yeah, I'm not gonna say anything more about this because if I talk about a lot about old books, we'll be here for ages. But yeah, read this series. It is amazing. You all need to read it. Also, this has just gotten a new cover and it's just been released in the States. So you can find it probably at Barnes Noble. Check it out, please. I mean, it's amazing. I suppose maybe it's a bit like cheesy. I mean, I read it for the first time when I was 12, and it's one of my all-time favorite books. I might be a bit biased, but like one of my booktube friends read it a few months ago, and she enjoyed it. She didn't love it, so I think that even if you're like an adult, you would still enjoy this, even though this came out like 20 years ago now. Oh my god. So yeah, if you enjoy a little cheese sometimes, check out this book. And then we have Scholarly Pleasant. So in the beginning, Stephanie in this series, I'm gonna say Stephanie because that's how it starts, Stephanie. I mean, in the end of the first book, well, no, in a few books after the first book, it kind of changes. But in the beginning, it's Stephanie. She kind of wants to belong someplace. She doesn't really have any friends. She's not really sad about that, but she kind of wants to belong. She feels kind of like, yeah, she likes her parents, but she kind of feels most at home with her uncle, who's very cool, fun uncle, who's an author. In the beginning of the first book, that uncle dies, but that also kind of sets things in motion, and that's kind of what starts the whole series. And yes, definitely she wants to belong, and she's searching for belonging, and she finds it over time. She doesn't definitely does. And yeah, Skulldugger Pleasant, highly recommended. Though I suppose I should say trigger warning because some scenes in this one is very scary. So, but like what I do, I can just kind of skip the scary scenes. So I mean, you can do that if you want to. But like the humor in it is A plus. The dialogue A plus. Like it's all amazing, and like even if the scary scenes they are so scary, so that's why I kind of don't like. For me, it's scary. But like they're written good. So I mean, I suppose scary scenes that are scary shouldn't really be like trigger warning to my against. But yeah, so yeah, that's that. Yes, had to fix some stuff. I'm back. So next we have a book. It's not really. I wouldn't say it's underrated or anything. It's probably a book people have heard about, but it does fit. It does fit the prompt of searching for belonging, which the book is The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan. I love this book so much. Some people prefer his Greek books, but yeah, I love this one. If I prefer it over PJO, I'm not sure, but yeah, I love this very much, maybe equal amounts. And yeah, so this is all about like two siblings, and they're like so long ago their mom died, and then they had to live different places because reasons. And then in this book they discover Egyptian mythology is a thing, and family secrets and stuff. And yeah, they're searching for a place to belong, and they kind of find it at the end. So yeah, middle grade Egypt mythology story. Definitely recommend it. Check it out. Also, it's becoming a movie, so yeah. We have Dreadnought by April Daniels. This is a YA superhero story. It's all about. Uh, it's been a while since I read this. So Danny was born in the wrong body. Has always been a she, though the world doesn't see it. And in the beginning of this book, Danny becomes a superhero and gets a female body that she always wanted. So yeah, I mean, the beginning of this is kind of like searching for the body that you want. Well, it's just kind of the first few pages because the body transformation happens very quickly. But then after that, it's kind of like searching for belonging in a world where the world sees Danny as wrong because they didn't used to be outside, like at least they didn't used to have a female body, and so they now have, and they're wrong. So I mean, yeah, it's searching for belonging in the world and searching for belonging in the superhero world because the superhero world can be transphobic as well, sadly. So yeah, it's the first in a duology. Though I think I heard someone say that there might be a third book in this series coming out. Has come out. Anyway, like the first two books kind of work as a duology, though I suppose it's a big world, so you could write more in it. And yeah, highly recommend it. Give me a moment. Back again. So yeah, and then next we have a book that I have talked about before, but again, I mean, yes, this could like be an opportunity to talk about new books I haven't talked about in a while. It could be a book way to talk about books I love. Here I would say I'm doing a bit of both really. But yeah, so here we have Evna or The Gift, I think it's full English, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, so it's the Raven Rings. It's originally a Norwegian high fantasy series. Though, yeah, as of this year, the whole trilogy is translated to English. English. It already exists in German. It already exists in German, Swedish, Italian, French. I think it exists in like Russian, like around 20 languages at this point in time, really, in a lot of them. But yeah, this year, well, last year, the first one came out in English, and now the second one and third one as well. Also, if you like pocketbooks or paperbacks, the first one's come out this fall. So yeah, but yeah, it's all about belonging. It's all about the main character Hirka. She lives in a. It's kind of like actually like a world inspired by Norse mythology or like the Viking era in a way. It's not Viking per se, but it's like I mean, there's definitely elements of the Norse mythology here in it, and yeah, but it's still like it's a different world than ours, but it's uh, kind of similar to like Viking era. And yeah, Hirka, everyone around her has a tail. She doesn't. So she's an outsider from get go. And in the beginning, her adopted dad dies. So she kind of has to find her own way. And she kind of discovers that, oh no, she's not like a person from like everyone else. She's actually a human, but just living in this world. And yeah, there's politics, there's a love story, there's humor, there's great characters, there's of course a map at the beginning. It's everything a great fantasy needs, really. And yeah, I just love it so much. And yeah, so happy that now, like with it being out in English, everyone can read it, and not just people who read Italian or French or Swedish. So yeah, I have like always talk about the old show of this book because the one I have because the other books I read from the library. I probably should buy the other books because yeah, I love the whole series. And actually, fun fact, I actually went to signing of this when this came out, so I have it signed. So yeah, that's quite fun. All my precious books, and yeah. So if you want like fantasy that's kind of Norse mythology based, check out this series, The Raven Rings by C.D. Pedersen. And give me a little moment. So yeah, again, yeah, I just have two more books in this recommendation video. But yeah, they're two great books. So now we have Margaret Mertz Takes It Down by Carrie McRossan and Ian McGurphy. They're actually a couple. But yeah, this is, I suppose, nowadays it's kind of described as Moxie meets Veronica Mars. So I suppose more people have heard of Moxie because, like, I have it in my bookstore and tell people about this book and like, Veronica Mars? So I suppose people haven't seen that gem nowadays. But Moxie people have seen, and yeah, it's feminism in high school, on the like on the private eye level because she's taking down slut shaming and stuff like that. And like this, like she's kind of helps people who kind of have troubles with internet because people have the wrong picture and stuff. But like very quickly, she starts going after men who does slut shaming on females in high school, and yeah, it's very good. But it's also like the main character Margot, she doesn't really have a lot of friends, so I suppose she kind of wants to like be needed by like doing her private eye thing. So she searches to belong in the world. And yeah, if you love Work Marsh, if you like Moxie, if you like fighting the patriarchy, check out this book. Also, if you like to laugh, check out this book. It's very funny. The second one is coming out in November, and that's kind of a bit more political based, so that's fun. And yeah, then last but least we have Girl of Fire and Thorns. So in this one, it's I'm back. I had to fix some stuff, but yeah, I'm back. A lot of fixing in this video, but yeah. So this book is based on Latin America, because I mean it's a high fantasy, but you definitely see the Latin America inspiration from the landscape, but also language is very Spanish based. You have Catholicism based and stuff like that. The main character in it, Elisa, she's a princess, but she's not a crown princess, and she has to be married off. And she kind of searches to belong in the world. At the beginning of this book, she doesn't really have a lot of friends, and she's not considered beautiful. So, and a lot of people underestimate her. So yeah, she definitely wants to belong in the world. She's searching for belonging, and spoiler alert, she finds it in the end. But yeah, definitely a good book, a very good book. So I would say check it out if you want high fantasy. That's yeah, very delightful and just so good. And yeah, and that's this little recommendation. I hope you enjoyed them. And yeah, I'll see you in a few minutes in the next recommendation. Few minutes, later. I'm not quite sure how soon they'll be posted after each other, but they'll all be posted today. So like if you want to jump in on this recommendation, even on the trade one, you can find them today and just kind of yeah. And bye.